When I played against Thierry Henry, you know he's gonna come in and curl one in. Just throw, not even a kick, throw in a space and you go counter-attack. That's the purpose of the game. You know, I would kill myself too. Not literally, but...
You nearly did.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
nearly did.
I killed myself to get there. Wayne Rooney was the one. Now I was like, this is a nightmare.
Got something a bit different for you today. A bit of drumming, a bit of goalkeeper chat. Can only be one man. Petr Cech. What a legend.
When you were at Chelsea, Gigi Buffon, the main man Gigi Buffon, said that you overall are the best goalkeeper in the world. What did you think when you heard that?
Well, you always take it as a huge compliment because obviously he's regarded historically as one of the best goalkeepers ever to play the game. So obviously to say something like that, I don't think we say it lightly. You don't praise someone and you just say it's there just because you want to say it. But I think generally as a goalkeepers union, we have this sort of respect to each other. So when I talk about someone, I try to be sort of honest and say my opinion in a respectful and meaningful way. So for him to say it, I was actually, it was a great compliment to be honest. And then I thought, well, it's nice to hear that from a fellow professional, the guy who plays the game, who is regarded one of the best. So yeah, it gives you a bit of a boost and good feeling, and you feel like, okay, I'm probably doing something right.
Did you ever take much notice of the kind of background noise? Or I've met you for about 10 minutes earlier today and we're just chatting away. You seem like the most unassuming, kind of like you just want to have a good time, a nice time, do good things. It doesn't strike me like it really bothered you too much, like the pressure or the stress of it all really got to you throughout your career.
No, you can obviously feel it because you want to do well. I know I always put high demands on myself, so you feel it. You feel that the game's coming, things are coming. But I always bigger pressure there was, better I play. I think actually Champions League game against Liverpool, I think finished like 4-4.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the worst games I ever played, and it felt so wrong since the first second of the game. In that moment, I felt like any shot, they win because it felt like I couldn't stop anything. But my preparation during the week was perfect. So when I went home, I was like, yeah, something happened. My body was not responding. Maybe I was too tired. Whatever happened, and I accepted it. Although I didn't like it, but I accepted it.
Do you know when you have those difficult games, the 4-4, for example, like you mentioned, do you learn from that? Do you take that forward with you for the rest of your career, for the rest of that season, and you think, I'm not going to let that happen to me again? Because I've seen so many goalkeepers where they make a mistake in the first minute, second minute, and then I know for the next 88 minutes, they're going to crumble. I know that we should just take shots on this goalkeeper.
Once I was on the pitch, for me, the games were always 0-0. So it almost was like there's no crowd, there is no people. The referee can do what he wants, he can't score, and actually my job is not to look if we missed a chance or whatever we do there. My job is to stop the next pass.
Zoned out.
Yeah, so basically then the advantage is that whether you are 3-0 up or 3-0 down, you play the same game.
Yeah.
And then of course when the game's finished, then you go either happy or upset, and then you can think about it. But while I was playing, it was actually allowing me to not to be too bothered with all the noise around. And since then, I was actually looking for things that would give me that sort of relaxation.
Yeah. Break away from football.
Break from football. And one of the things I started was accidentally, but it was drumming, for example.
Is that what it is? It's that,
so that was
that break, it's that complete...
That was the moment where you shut yourself in the studio and then you can bang the... if you're happy, if you play nice and happy, rhythm, whatever. If you're angry, just bash the, everything out of the drums, and you walk out and you feel like completely fresh and new to go. So
I think that's so
about
important. You've
football.
got to have that. You've got to have that release. Mine's cycling. I had that with cycling. Same thing. I could lock myself in a room, hour. I'd get off. I'd be smiling. I'm good to go again. I just need that break though for a little bit.
for me, the musical instrument, actually drums, is physical, it's active, and at the same time is relaxing. And on top of that, which I, as soon as I started getting to a better level, I realized how much it helps me with goalkeeping as well. Because you play
Coordination.
four different patterns with four limbs. So you gain such an independence, and your brain is suddenly used to solving all sort of patterns and things that when you have one ball to catch, you suddenly feel like, it's actually quite simple. So you have sometimes situations where you keep the time on the foot. Yeah, so you might play in here. So you play one pattern, you play another pattern, you play third pattern, and the foot play another pattern. So you get a... Then it gives you, in a sort of complexity of playing anything, the four limbs work different way, your brain is multifunctioning, and then when you go on the page, it actually is a quite a helpful situation. So I didn't really think about it, I didn't start drumming about it, but as soon as I did, and I managed to get this independence going, then, I realized I'm benefiting in many ways. Yeah, it was one of those things where you just go, it had all the different benefits, but for the mental health, my mental health and the relaxation, that was the best part, because imagine you have your favorite song and you can suddenly play along with it.
Oh, yeah.
That gives a completely good feeling, and then, and that was the purpose of it.
We've got drum set upstairs. We're going to have a little bash about in a minute. All right, mate, go on then. Look at the smile on his face. Look how happy you are. Go on then, let's see what you got. Come on.
Okay.
Mate. All right, you can actually play the drums then, yeah. All right, Petr, let's talk about modern goalkeeping, okay? What do you make of this newfangled goalies have to be good with their feet first and then keeping out at the back of the net second?
Well, obviously, if you play the game where you always restart from the back and you always want to keep possession and you always want to create extra number and the goalkeeper is always in, of course you need to have a goalkeeper who can play. But at the same time, what I don't like is that people forget that goalkeeper wins your game by making saves, important saves in important times. And if you look at a good example, Man City when they won the Champions League, look at the final against Inter. I think it was probably one of the worst games Ederson played with his feet, because he kicked 3 balls out of the pitch, then 3 times he was waiting for the option, didn't come. There was like a ball loss, whatever. So he was nowhere near his actually usual level of playing from the back, but he made 4 saves that made them win the Champions League. So then I think it tells the story that, it's of course it's important. You have to have, for the style you play, you need to have a goalkeeper who can do it, who can adjust to it, and will help you rather than hurt you. But at the same time, you should have a goalkeeper who can pull out big save and give you that security when you need, because it ultimately on the result that will make a huge difference. And I believe sometimes people forget it, that the goalkeeper has to be a goalkeeper as well at the same time. And I have to tell you that sometimes I watch teams play from the back, and 30 passes later and 15 heart attacks of whole stadium, they end up where they started, and you feel like, okay, what is actually purpose of this football? Exploring the weakness of the opponent to your benefit and scoring goals, winning games, that's the purpose of the game. The purpose is not having 75% of possession and never cross the halfway line. So, when I came to Chelsea, Jose said, oh, you have an 80 yards kick. And I said, yeah. He said, nobody beats Drogba in the air. Just get to him in 2 seconds. We are in the box, and and then you suddenly realize, yeah, it's true. You kick a 70-yard ball, he holds it like that, brings people in, and in 3 seconds you are in there, and you think like,
What was that like when you looked up and you saw Big Didier 80 yards up there, and you knew that as long as you get it there, he's going to be just pinning and holding, and then everybody's up?
no, but it was the same with when I had Giroud at Arsenal, for example. It was the same thing, because you suddenly find yourself in a position where you play well, you're cruising everything, you have a control. Suddenly momentum switches, and the opponent is all over you, and you suddenly feel like, if he could get it out, hold it there, and get some of the possession there, and relieve this pressure, that would help. But if you have nobody there to hold it, then you just go, you can't do that. So you have to keep finding ways and passes, and more you get under pressure, and then you have problems. So you should always find the solution or have the options. And obviously with DJ it was easy. That's a massive advantage to have. You have to be able to play long, you have to be able to play short. And I think there is I never see a young goalkeeper now kick a long ball. They don't even think about it.
It's not an option anymore.
No. But I tell you, how many times, I got the cross and I get it straight in, just throw, not even a kick, throw in a space, and you go counter-attack. You don't see it in the modern football. All you see is the goalkeeper catching the ball, stepping 6 yards back, putting it there, and waiting for everybody to set up. But by the time you set up, the opponent sets up, and then you go again, and then you have to, and I think. I like that about David Raya, for example. He breaks lines. When he gets the ball, he has chance. He plays fast. He's one of the few who plays really fast. Ederson does it. When he sees the space, he kicks it there. I think Emiliano Martinez does it. So you step on the, you have to step on the pedal and keep it down. Yeah. 3, 4, and 1 and 3 you kick.
It's impossible.
So imagine you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Same, like a slow like that. Good.
I forget to press the pedal. This is so hard. No, I forgot. No, because now I need to hit that. This is Peter. Right. I don't like it. You were with Emiliano Martinez at Arsenal. Could you see that meteoric rise into the goalkeeper that we've got in front of us today?
No, first of all, you could see Emi's ability, but I think he had so much energy and it went like all over the place. And I think then he found his way to channel all this energy in the one direction. And this is where I think it kicked, that kicked off from him. And you can see his transformation, how he does things, how he gets about, and obviously he got rewarded for that. And I think it's great to see. But I think, and at the time I was at Arsenal, then he didn't have that ability yet to took all his energy and focus in one direction, and that's why it took him a little bit longer time. But he can clearly see, he managed to find that way, and that's why he is where he is, and obviously he got rewarded for it. And it's amazing how, if you do the right things and you keep going, then where it can take you.
Another player you would have played with at Arsenal, Mikel Arteta. Could you always see him making that transformation into the manager?
You look in dressing room sometimes and you go, okay, that's a coach material. Oh, there's no chance. And then sometimes the people who think like, oh, no chance, become managers, and you think like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that one coming.
But with Mikel, if you were in the dressing room and you look and you go, okay, that's a future coach, and that's a future manager, because the way he could see the game, the attention to detail, he's, as well, when you play that position, he played the number 6, the guy, or 8, whatever, passing the ball and being the guy who controls the game. You obviously see things a slightly different way. That's why, I think you have the general ability to understand how the game, where the space is and how the game is played. But he had this personality as well to, to try to find solutions and had the personality to let people know, when he had an opinion. And this is where you, as a coach, you obviously need to be comfortable talking to people, managing people, and I think you could see that with the right steps he would become a coach. And obviously he had one of the best coaches as his master. So then you can see, when it leads, when you have the natural ability and then you work, and then you make the right steps in your career. Then I'm not surprised that he managed to get where he is.
Is there a similarity then between a drummer and a goalkeeper?
Oh yes, the drummer is the heartbeat of the band, and second thing is that so when you play live, and if the drummer messes up, everybody will notice. Even everything, because you're supposed to keep time, and the band plays. You keep everything together, so it can happen that everything falls apart, and that's the problem. And the same with goalkeeping. When you make a mistake, everybody sees it. Like if somebody makes a mistake, if the guitarist plays a slightly different note, nobody will even notice. If you lose the ball in number 8 position, everybody defends after. Nobody might even notice. So, and you are at the back as well. The frontman gets all the plaudits. Everybody in front of the stage, and you are right at the back, and you sit there, and then and then you get along with your job and.
In your own little world.
Exactly. So I think that's probably why I sort of found such a connection to it, probably as well.
It popped up on my Instagram the other day, Petr. Ronaldinho, Chelsea versus Barcelona. It was that dirty little toe poke goal.
Yeah. I actually remember it quite well. I thought he's gonna step over and try to go one way or another, and then he stops completely, and you think like, okay, what is he actually now? What is he gonna do? And then you see how he started kind of dancing around it, and then he used the toe punch. And then the worst thing is it was so quick and so surprising that literally the moment I was ready to push, I could see the ball literally side by my side, and it was far as well. So it was a good strike. But the surprise, you feel like, okay, what's going to happen now? And then suddenly it went.
Because it's the only way he can generate enough power to get the ball in the back of net. If he tries to open his foot up, or if he tries to strike it, he can't generate the power. Only with a toe poke. But it boggles your head, doesn't it, when a player toe pokes it?
Yeah, you don't expect that because, you always feel like everybody tries to prepare the ball for the better shot. But the best players always find the solution to get a bit of space and the shot away. And every time I looked at Aguero's goals, for example, you just go, it's not even a shot. It's like, everything goes right by the post. It's like a pass right by the post, but in the right timing, right pace, right angle, right choice, whether go right or left. When I played against Thierry Henry, he's going to come in and curl one in. And I'm thinking he scores one and second one and third one. And you think like, come on, people, he's going to do that. But then when I talked about it with him, he said that he used to do that with the goalkeepers at training, that he would even tell them, okay, I'm shooting there, so try to save it and I will try to beat you anyway. So he became so good at it that it came with such a speed and curl that obviously made it so difficult for the goalkeeper. So, when you play Ronaldo, the power, the headers, the light foot, left foot. With Messi, you never know what's coming because anything can be coming anytime. And so many times you feel you are on top of him, and then he always, finds the way to, like when you see so many times he chips the goalkeeper from so close, and you just go, okay, you have to admire it. I think like Wayne Rooney was the one. Like when we played United in the league, he was always the one. I was like, oh come on, this is a nightmare because he can chip you from halfway line, and he's like relentless. He's everywhere. He keeps pressing and he keeps coming and never gives you half a second. So it was always the preparation, even from the goalkeeper coach. He always said, we play Rooney, he can do anything. Yeah, I said, yeah, unfortunately, yes, I can't cheat because he will see that. But there's many ways you can play with people. But generally, when you play against the top players, they will always find a way. And it becomes challenging, and this is what I loved about Champions League, or Premier League, because you play against the best players, and it brings the best out of you as well. The one who was really like out of all the people, absolutely amazing, was Crespo. Like Crespo's finishing was an absolute joke. Like right foot, left foot, header, like absolute joke.
What? Explain
His
it. Explain it.
timing, and as well, I guarantee you, if there was VAR, the time Crespo played, he would have had 50 more goals than he's got. Because he got flagged every game. He got flagged like 6 times offside, and 4 times he was not. Because he had such an unbelievable timing, like he curved the run and then he went, and he was always behind. And then you feel like, and they put the flag up because they said, how can he be 3 yards already behind? But he had such a timing that he was never offside. You look back and you think like, oh nope, and then he was always flagged. So, and his finishing was a joke. Like he had like this side foot, but so powerful.
Yeah.
Like he could
Slap.
like, oh yeah, it went like the whip. It was crazy. Like I can tell you that he was like really impressive.
All right, give me a couple tunes then, all right? So you've just won 3-0, clean sheet, man of the match. What tune are you playing?
Well, you will play something like simple like that. If you're angry, you can actually, you.
Yeah, go on then. Give me an angry one. So you've just been pumped 5-0, 5 goals.
No, you put some like a quicker song, and you play.
That's incredible. That's
You can go anywhere you want around it and just beat everything out of it. And then...
They say that the modern era of footballer is the best era. That's what they say, Petr, apparently. But you played in a Chelsea team with a John Terry and Carvalho centre-back partnership, with one of the best strikers the Premier League has seen in Didier Drogba. What was it like? Let's start with JT and Carvalho. What was it like playing with them two? Because they don't make them like that anymore, do they?
If we forget about personalities and obviously what JT brings to the team as a captain, or the focal point of the team, he's a defender. He knows exactly where to fill space. He was strong, he was fast, he was brave, and he's the natural defender where he would do anything. He would put his head there, in the shot, just to stop the goal, happening. And that's what you need. People like that. Obviously, that's completely priceless for you as a goalkeeper, because they do ultimately what you do. I would kill myself to, not literally, but
You nearly did.
yeah,
You
exactly.
nearly did.
I'd kill myself to get there, and then many times I did. I was very close, but not to let the ball in. And he had the same mentality. Yeah. And then with Ricardo, it was absolutely amazing, because he read the game the best way I've ever seen in any player, almost. Because there were situations we played top teams in the Champions League or even in the league, and that is like a really like a quick, fast transition, and then somebody makes a really surprising move and makes a pass, and when you go, you think, oh, damn, that's gonna be dangerous. And he's standing there, literally controlling the ball with kind of like a half smile on his face, and you have the ball, and we sometimes wondered. We were like, all of us, like even JT turned, he said like, how did he know that? Like you almost feel like, how did he actually read that? Like it caught 90% people off guard,
yeah.
and he's there like he knew all the way, and that's why they created such a strong partnership, because he was so clever to play off JT, and JT was kind of like guiding him and did the hard work, and then he was always filling the gap. He was always where he needed to be, and for a guy who didn't look so strong physically, he was actually quite strong.
Yeah.
He was kind of deceiving, because people thought, oh, he's not big, he's not that strong, he's not that, but he was everywhere. He had an edge as well when he wanted to make people feel pain. Like he was right there. He was very clever. So that's why they created such a great partnership, because they played one of another, and that helps.
Final question, Petr. If you could swap the career you've had with Chelsea, with Arsenal, football, or you could have been a front man playing your drums for Chili Peppers or Foo Fighters, what are you choosing?
Well, I wouldn't change. I think I love my part of the playing football, full stadiums, and the challenges that comes along with it. So I would stick to that. Probably I would find more time to do the other career after, but I'm too busy.
You got time, mate. You got time still. You're 42. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, like there's one thing, it's called the family as well, and other things. So no, I think probably too old for that, but you never know.
Love it, mate. Come on. That was world class, mate. Can you play us like a nice little beat just to see us out, please?
Yeah, something simple. Something simple.
Good, mate. Well done. You're the boy. Well done, mate. Cheers, Petr. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I have got all sorts. Don't forget, you guys at home can watch Arsenal in the Champions League exclusively on Prime.